There is something about fall and nutty cakes that really melts my heart. And I'm telling you, this rum cake is gonna blow your mind. It is the perfect cake for your winter holidays gathering. Your dessert table would be incomplete without it. This beautiful cake is rum soaked. It's buttery, flavorful, nutty, and extremely moist. You're absolutely gonna want to try this recipe. Now let's get to baking. To start, we're gonna preheat the oven to 325 degrees. And then we're going to prepare our bundt pan. Now into a large mixing bowl, we're going to add 2 cups of flour and sift. I like to sift to break down any lumps for a lighter texture and also for a more consistent mixture throughout the batter. Now we're going to add in 1.5 cups of sugar. And then we're going to add in 1 box of instant vanilla pudding mix. This is one of the ingredients that are going to make the cake extra moist. Add in 2 teaspoons of baking powder, the leavening agent, to give a lift to our cake. For balance, we're going to add in half a teaspoon of salt, 1 stick of softened unsalted butter. Add half a cup of vegetable oil and mix. You can use any neutral oil, but vegetable oil is highly recommended because that's another ingredient that's going to give us a very tender melt in your mouth cake. Now with our hand mixer, we're going to keep mixing on medium speed until all the ingredients begin to come together. Everything should be nicely mixed in. Now we're going to add in 4 eggs, one at a time. Mix until each egg fully blends in before we add another one. Best practice is to crack the eggs in separate bowls. We don't want any shells falling in. Add another egg and keep mixing. We gotta add eggs to provide some structure to this cake. Look how beautiful that's looking already. So smooth. Now we're gonna go ahead and add in the milk. I'm gonna add in half a cup of carnation evaporated milk, but buttermilk or any whole milk will do just as well. We're gonna add in half a cup of dark rum. If you have bourbon, you can use that too. We're going to add in 1 teaspoon of each almond and vanilla extract. Keep mixing until well combined. There's still streaks of flour stuck around the bowl. I'm just going to go ahead and scrape it off, and then we're going to mix again for a few more seconds. We're all done with mixing. Now we're going to transfer the batter to our bundt pan. I like to grease my pan with just butter, but some would say use butter and flour or baking spray. And add the nuts to the bottom of the pan right before adding the cake batter. I'm using half a cup of pecans, but we can also use walnuts, or just skip the nuts altogether if you don't like nutty cakes. Now let's carefully empty all the cake batter into our bundt pan. Once we get all the cake batter in there, I like to gently run the spatula through it just to get rid of any air bubbles. Looking good. Now we're going to pop it in a preheated oven and set our timer for 55 minutes. All ovens are not made equal, okay? So be sure to do the 2-bake test. If it comes out clean, that means the cake's ready. If not, just leave it in there for another 5. Now the cake is out of the oven. We're going to set it aside and leave it alone to rest while we prepare our delicious rum soak. To make the soak, we're going to add 1 stick of salted butter to our saucepan and let that melt down a bit. Then we're going to add in half a cup of granulated sugar and half a cup of brown sugar, 1/4 of a cup of water, and let that cook for about 5 to 7 minutes, stirring frequently. At this point, we're going to turn off the heat and slowly add in half a cup of dark rum. We're going to keep stirring until well combined. It should look just like so. Smooth, dark, and syrup-like consistency. Now we're going to go back to the cake. Grab a squirt and poke holes all over the cake. Carefully pour the rum soak all over the cake, a bit at a time. Wait and let the soak fully absorb into the cake. Then pour a bit more, repeating the process until you have poured all the rum soak over the cake. Now we're going to cover it. I like to leave it alone at room temperature for at least an hour or 2 before serving. That's enough time for the cake to cool completely and absorb all of that delicious rum glaze. 2 hours later, now we're going to invert the cake. What do we have here? The moment of truth. Now look at that. Absolutely delicious. Let's cut a piece so we can try it. This cake is so delicious when served with ice cream or just on its own with a cup of tea, coffee, milk, or maybe some rum and coke on ice. This beautiful rum glazed cake is a great make-ahead cake and you can freeze it for up to 3 months. Enjoy. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you guys later.